Congratulations! You've made it to session 4 of Eat Smart, Live Strong. This is the very last session in our series, so if you've made it here, give yourself a big pat on the back. Good job. So, in today's lesson, we're going to be learning about how to eat smart but spend less. One of the biggest challenges with learning how to eat healthy is the cost of produce, because it can be really expensive to buy fresh fruits and vegetables all of the time. So during today's video, we're going to address that. Before we get started on that, I just want to check in. Take a second to think about how your goals went from last week. On top of that, think about how far you've come over the past 4 weeks since you've been participating in our series. I'm sure you've made great progress, and you'll still keep going after we're done with each other. As usual, we're going to start with our healthy recipe. Today's recipe card is veggie roll-ups. Take a look. Today's healthy recipe should only take about 20 minutes to prepare. You will need 4 7-inch whole wheat tortillas, a half a cup of non-fat cream cheese, 2 cups of fresh chopped spinach, 1 cup of chopped tomato, a half a cup of chopped bell pepper, a half a cup of chopped cucumber, a 1/4 cup of diced canned green chilies, a 1/4 cup of sliced ripe olives drained. In order to put this together, all you need to do is spread each tortilla with 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, top each tortilla with equal amounts of vegetables, roll up tightly to enclose filling, slice each roll up in half, and serve. The veggie roll-up recipe is so yummy, and it's a vegetarian option. However, if you'd like to add a meat to it, some grilled chicken breast would go great. Another thing that you can use that has no salt but adds a lot of flavor when you're cooking your meals is a salt-free seasoning. They come in a variety of different brands. They're usually just $1. You can get them at almost any store, and it's a pre-seasoned mix. When I make my veggie roll-ups, I put this on my veggies before I put it into my tortilla. So, I hope you guys are ready to get your blood flowing. Stand up, do some stretches, and get ready for our exercises. Again, keep in mind, this is just a demo, so we're only going to do a few. But feel free to pause the video while you're at home and do as many reps as you're comfortable with. Begin your exercise session by taking 5 deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Sit or stand with straight posture. Roll your head towards the right shoulder. Roll your head towards the back. Roll your head towards the left shoulder. And roll your head towards your chest. Do these motions fluidly 10 times in one direction. Sit or stand with straight posture. Roll shoulders forward. Repeat 10 times. Okay, stop. Roll shoulders backwards. Sit or stand with straight posture. Hold both hands in front of the body, arms outstretched. Rotate wrists in a circle in one direction. Repeat 10 times. Stop and go the other direction. Sit or stand with straight posture. If sitting, lift both feet off of the floor. If standing, hold the back of the chair, lift right foot off of the floor. Rotate ankle in a circle in one direction. Repeat 10 times. Rotate ankle in a circle in the other direction. Repeat 10 times. If standing, repeat with left foot. Great job on those exercises, guys. If you need a minute to calm and cool down after your exercises, it's fine to pause here. If not, let's get started with our material. As always, let's review the behaviors and benefits of all of our series. So why are these benefits important? The benefits of eating at least 3.5 cups of fruits and vegetables every day include to help prevent or delay the effects of chronic diseases such as obesity, hypertension, and heart disease, to maintain strong and healthy bones, to get some vitamins, minerals, and fiber needed to maintain good health, to maintain regularity, and to add color, taste, and variety to your diet. Benefits of participating in at least 30 minutes of physical activity on most days includes helping to prevent or delay the effects of chronic disease, to feel better throughout the day, decrease stress, anxiety, and mild depression, to help build and maintain healthy bones, muscles, and joints, to improve strength, to increase balance and reduce the risk of falls, and to help improve sleep habits. So at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that one of the biggest challenges to eating healthy is being able to buy the healthy foods because they can be expensive. You get into organic and fresh things, and what do you really eat that you can, or how can you buy things that make it more affordable to reach your goals? So we're going to spend a little bit of time about shopping in season. We're also going to talk about some local programs in the Pontiac community that are available if you are looking for some sort of assistance with getting fresh food. So let's start with talking about shopping in season. So this came from a cutout of a weekly ad from the local Save-A-Lot in Pontiac. So these are the produce that they had on sale in store for this week. Whole seedless watermelons for $3.99, blueberries for $2.49, and grape tomatoes for $1.99. Those are all pretty decently priced for produce. So what I want to do is take some time to look at what things are on the in-season list in Michigan. And if they're not on the in-season list, they may be in season just nationally, which makes the price lower because they're available at other states. So this is the in-season availability guide for Michigan's fruits and vegetables. If you look at blueberries, you will see that the bar for blueberries goes from July until about mid-September. It's the summertime right now in the month of August, so that you can see that currently blueberries are in season. So around this time of year is when you'll get them for the best price. If you're trying to get something at a different type of year, you may have to try a different fruit or vegetable that's in season and comes at a good cost. Melons were also on that ad. If you see here, there's about mid to beginning August, all the way through the beginning of October are the season for melons in Michigan. So you'll get those at a good price. The other thing that we had on the list was tomatoes. So you see tomatoes here. They start in July and they go through about October. So those are also probably why they're in the ad and they're on sale, because they're in season in Michigan. Some grocery stores are really great about getting local produce. And when they do that, this guide would be the most accurate for when those things would be on sale. Now, like I mentioned a moment ago, even though they're not necessarily on in season in Michigan, doesn't mean that they're not in season in other places. So this is the summer national in-season list from the USDA SNAP ad. So you'll see also the things that we saw in that ad on this list. You see blueberries, you see tomatoes, and you see watermelon. This cutout came from Meijer in Waterford, which is the closest chain store to Pontiac. So this price, 67 cents for small avocados or large mangoes, is a great price. When avocados and mangoes are out of season, they can go for almost $3 each. So being able to get them for 67 cents is a really good sign that they're in season. They also have packaged corn on sale and mini greenhouse cucumbers. So let's take a look at our in-season list. We won't find mangoes or avocados on Michigan's in-season list because they are not a thing that is made to grow in our climate. Those things grow better in southern, warmer, year-round climates. So those aren't on our in-season availability guide at all. But we do see cucumbers on here. If we go to the cucumber section, you can see that from August through September is the end season for cucumbers. A little bit, so they have them for pickling and they also have them for salad. So you can get them as early as the end of June. Now it all depends on if you're actually gardening for yourself. It's a little different because you can play with the time frame. This is strictly for the best times to get things from inside the store. And then again, looking at the national in-season list, you do see avocados, mangoes, corn, and cucumbers all on this list, which means during the summer, somewhere in our nation is a prime time for growing these and getting them manufactured so that they are ready for sale at the best price point. This is also from the Meijer ad in Waterford. We have peaches or nectarines, plum cots, bulk apples, and again, watermelons. We already reviewed the watermelons on the previous slide when we talked about them at Save-A-Lot, but this one also has a honeydew melon, so it's really melons of any kind. So looking at our Michigan availability guide, you do see peaches here and nectarines. So nectarines have a much shorter span of when they are grown, but peaches are in season in the summertime in Michigan. We also have plums on this list, which is, of course, close to a plum cot. It's not exactly the same thing. A plum cot is a mix between a plum and an apricot, but we'll just talk about plums for the sake of this lesson. So you see all of those fruits are in season in Michigan. So if they're getting them from a local grower, they can get them from a good price. And then if we look at the national list, you'll see apricots, avocados, you will see peaches, plums. You see all of those things are on the in-season list, which explains why they're at a good price point. Now, I want to go back and take a look at the Michigan list really quick. If you notice, pretty much all of our fruits except for apples are only in season in the summertime. You have to think about where we live and what the climate is like. So really our growing season is quite small. So there are things that can get shipped from other places in the country where their growing season is a lot bigger. Michigan can also grow better cold crops like the vegetables. You notice the vegetable guide, the season is a lot longer because a lot of those crops can tolerate the cold better than fruit crops can. Canned or frozen produce are always a cost-effective alternative to fresh produce, mostly due to the longer shelf life. They have preservatives or they're flash frozen, which means that they were fresh at one point, flash freeze them, and then they can last longer. Or they're fresh at one point, they go through the canning process, they have preservatives, and they last longer. So if you're finding it really hard to get fresh produce, it is okay to eat frozen or canned. We just want to remind you again that if you're going to use this alternative, that it's probably best that you put the produce in a strainer, you rinse it off to try to get as much of those preservatives off as possible before you cook them or eat them. The last thing that I want to mention about buying things in season, when things are not in season but they're still available, they're usually either overripe or overpriced. This is because in some places they can grow so much produce while it's in season and then store it. So they store it, and by the time it gets shipped, you're going off of a stockpile. So they have to charge the increased price because they're not freshly getting it off of the tree or the plants or out of the ground at that time. So that's the reason why you can still get things when they're out of season, but they're either grown indoors in a greenhouse, which is much more expensive than growing things in nature and outside, or they're coming from a stockpile. Next, I want to talk about some food programs for seniors. These are things that are local to the Pontiac community. I also want to keep in mind before we go over these programs that these are actual programs where you can either go to a place for a meal or pick up a food box. But there are a ton of pantries in the Pontiac community. Pretty much every church has some sort of program where you can come and shop either free or low cost. Also, there is a growing trend of community gardens. So kind of keep an eye out for what's in your neighborhood to see if there's a community garden already in place or one that might pop up soon. So the first program we're going to talk about is the Focus Hope Senior Food Pickup. They do weekly pickups on Wednesdays from the Pontiac Library. In order to be eligible for this program, you have to provide proof of your age, being 60 years or above, the number of people in your household, and what county you reside in. In order to apply for the food justice program, the information is here. And also you'll see at the bottom that there are income limits for this program. So if you look down here in the bottom, you'll see what those are. Feel free to pause the video and write this information down if you're looking to call and become a member of this program. This is the Commodity Supplemental Food Program. So it has very similar income limits. As a matter of fact, I think that they're exact same. I think the Focus Hope program is one of the FP programs, but there may be more in the community. And the way that you can apply for that is if you don't get the answers you need directly from Focus Hope, you can go fill out a My Bridges application. And the good thing about this application is that it's going to give you access to whatever resources you qualify for. So you fill out one general application. If you're eligible for other resources in the state, this application will let you know that, as long as you click that you're interested in that program. For prepared meals, Pontiac has Meals on Wheels. They also do a meal pickup on Monday and Thursday at noon. You can get one meal per person each day. It's available to seniors 60 and older. They do suggest a donation, but it is not required. And there are two places where you can pick that up, either Bowen Senior Center or the Ruth Peterson Center. If you want more information on that, you can contact the Area Agency on Aging 1B.
Here are some tips from the information that was reviewed in today's video. Tips for eating more fruits and vegetables. Use EBT benefits to purchase fruits and vegetables. Remember the MI Bridges website application? That's where you get those benefits from. Get canned fruits and vegetables from food distribution programs such as food banks or food pantries. Apply for senior farmers market programs. Apply for commodity supplemental food program if available. Buy canned or frozen fruits and vegetables on sale. Choose produce that's in season. Tips for participating in more physical activity. Park the car farther from the store or office. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk and talk with friends. Participate in active play with grandchildren. And dance around the house. So for today's lesson, we started off by reviewing our recipe card, our veggie roll-ups. Please try those, they're so good. After that, we added 4 more exercises. You can take screenshots and pause the video or come back and watch this as much as you want if you want to do the exercises with the video. After that, we reviewed our behaviors and their benefits. And then we spent some time talking about how to eat smart but spend less. I hope the information in today's video was valuable to you. After today, we will be sending out to you materials that were included over the 4-week series, including a participant handbook with all of the exercises. We'll be sending out some recipe cards and also some other things, materials that you can use to help you continue to eat smart and live strong. Thank you all so much for participating with us for all 4 weeks. I was so glad to be your guide over these past 4 weeks. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much for joining us for 4 whole weeks of Eat Smart and Live Strong. And good luck on your continued implementation of your healthy behaviors.